Hey, this is Steve from myothercareer.wordpress.com, and in this video I wanted to show you something that I've been using last couple months that I've been playing with um, to kind of beat out stories, and it might help some of you out, so I thought I'd shoot a video about it. But this is the board. I picked this up a couple months ago. It is 4 feet wide by 3 feet. And you'll see I've got 52 note cards up here, and they roughly break into each section of the story. At the top 2 rows is Act 1, with the blue being the plot point at the end of Act 1, so that's the act break. Second row is the first half of Act 2. Third row is the first half, or the second half of Act 2, and the fourth row. Well, actually, I guess it's the 7th and 8th row is the Act 3. When I'm beating out stories, I try to keep between 10 and 14 beats to an act. If I have more than 14, I've probably got too much going on. If I have less than 10, I probably don't have enough. Sometimes I'm closer to 10, sometimes I'm closer to 14. It really depends. But you'll see a couple different colors on here, and I wanted to go over briefly how I've been using those. And I've kind of been borrowing from different methods and screenplay theory concepts and stuff. So the blue basically are the ends of the act section. So you've got the Act 1 break, the midpoint, the Act 2 break, and then the closing image. You don't really need that, but I kind of like it there just because I'm OCD and I like that color there. Now over here, green I use just for significant moments in the story. So in this case, this is like the inciting incident, so to speak. This would be some sort of pinch or complication they have to go through in the first half of the second act. Same thing here, some sort of pinch or complication the heroes and his teams have to overcome in the second half of the second act. And then this is some sort of darkest moment or ultimate failure the hero has to triumph over or resolve going into the final act. Now, these items here in the blue are hard breaks. So they're always the last beat in the act. If I only have this many beats in this story, then that's where it'll be. It might only go to there. It depends. I haven't gotten that far planning it out yet. But these green ones will float. They don't always sit right here. Sometimes maybe I'll get to this moment up here. Sometimes it'll be here. Sometimes it'll be there. For me, typically it will fall either on this one, or this one. If I'm moving too far up or too far back, let me kind of break it. If this green beat here is too far this way or comes up too far there, then usually I've got some pacing issues I have to play with. Now, I have not used the board for all my screenplays, but I have always used this type of beat method to kind of work through my stories. I mean, and again, this is just a hobbyist amateur screenwriter. Don't take this as professional advice. I'm just talking about what works for me as I write, for fun. But having it visual as opposed to just on a text editor, which is what I used to do. I just have 14 lines for each section of documents. But having it on a board first has really helped me visualize some things. So for example, I know right off the top of my bat that this here, or the inciting incident coming up to the end of the first act, these are pretty much non-stop action beats. And that's a lot of action. So I know I'm going to have to slow it down for a beat somewhere in here. In real-time terms, between here and the end of the first act is only about 15 minutes. So I'm going to have to find some method to kind of slow it down, or you're going to get fatigued out. It's kind of like a Transformers 2, almost from the midpoint on to the end, it's nonstop action, and you're just exhausted. And so the stuff in the third act just doesn't mean anything because you're exhausted. So pacing and going through waves to kind of bring up and then slow it down and let you deal with the emotional impact of what you just went through. I found doing it this way visually has helped me out figuring those things out. So another benefit of having it up here on the board is it's not as intimidating to see how far along you are. You know, it's pretty friendly. It's colorful. It's easy to play with. It's technologically complicated. You know, anybody can do this. You don't need any type of complicated software to kind of outline and beat things out. And so what I'll do is, you know, I've got a lot of time and freedom to just play with these note cards and jot stuff down and just really look at the high level stuff before I even have to worry about writing anything. And I know that each note card for me roughly breaks out to about 2 pages. And my screenplays usually come in around first drafts between 110 and 115 pages. So the 2-page note card thing for me is a pretty good average. Sometimes it'll only be 1 page, sometimes it'll be 3, but it usually averages to about 2 pages a note card. So I know that if I can get this done, I'll come in well under 120 pages. And then when I've got this all finished, I'll copy these into a text editor, and then I will start writing kind of a treatment based on these beats and start exploring stuff. And as I run into issues, I'll come back to this board and change the beats and go back, and I'll end up with a 10 to 15 page outline and work through all the kinks and figure out, you know, am I forcing characters into these beats? Do I need to change the beats because the characters are telling me differently? And I've got a lot of flexibility and freedom. And anyways, it's been a good tool. So I thought I'd show it. The board cost, got it, I think, Office Max a couple months ago. It was on sale. I think I paid $40 for it. 3x5 index cards are dirt cheap. You get like 100 of them for $2 or something. So, you know, these tacks, once you buy these, I think I got 250 of them for like $2. You know, it's not a huge investment, and it's cheap, and it's portable because you can always just take the note cards off the board and put them in rubber bands and bring them with you. So that's it. But yeah, so here you go. That's just one of the things that I use, and I thought I'd share today. And you know, maybe you can see something here that you might find worthwhile to experiment yourself. And until next time, this is Steve from myothercareer.wordpress.com. Keep writing.